Good morning, I think. I don't know. Right. My Stream Deck freaked out and lost. Oh, Russell, thanks for signing up as a member. My Stream Deck lost its profile, and that is how I control all the macros for things like turning the different audio inputs on and off and doing the transitions between the HDMI inputs and running the external laptop that does the intro. So I'm totally on manual right now. Normally I'm flying on autopilot. The autopilot has been disabled and I have the controls, which is really, really scary. I acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Whadjuk Noongar peoples. I pay my respects to the elders, past and present, and to Aboriginal elders and peoples from other communities who may be taking part in this live stream today. This disaster of a live stream. I don't have a clue what to do. David, you're back in Melbourne. Okay, Melbourne. Why do I sound like an American? I have no idea. But anyway, good morning to Michael, Austin, Stephen. Who else is here? Ray is here, Rayburn. Some call it fun. And Mitchell, of course. I've got the speech. I have the chat to speech thing running. Steve the Squirrel is in the house, of course. He is always in the house. Chip is here. Dodgy is here. I thought I saw Imi earlier. Intermittent Tech, Luminator. Yep, Imogen's here. Russell, Andy, David. Mega sound feedback happening. I wonder what that is. I wonder if I've got two audio inputs running. Oh, I know what it is. Let's see if that fixes it. Yes. Okay, I think that'll fix it. Yes, that sounds like Steve chewing.
Thompson said the sound is buzzing.
Steve chewing on some wires. He would have been... Yeah, that would... Get more of the stuff up. Whew. Okay. Give everybody's ears a little break. I am feeling more smashed than usual today. Yeah, well, I'm sure that some of you will be relieved. For the last few weeks on the stream, I've generally been wearing a hat or something. That's because I've been clean shaven for about 6 weeks, give or take, and growing my hair back for about 6 weeks. And it got to, about a centimetre and a half. It was getting quite long on the sides and it was at that really horrible, ridiculous stage. And I thought, can I power through this and just ignore it for another couple of months and then I'll have hair back again? And I decided, no, it feels wrong. So during the week, I got the clippers out and went, yeah, and took it all back off again. Right, okay. Try doing a desktop share to see if it is. Okay, that's a good idea. Let's see if I can do a desktop share. In fact, what I will do, so this is talking about the stream quality. Oh, I just got a message from Hugh saying he and David are watching from Cleveland, Ohio. Hugh on a trip to the US. So good evening, Cleveland, I guess. Hang on, okay. I can't just press the button on the Stream Deck. I'm going to have to use the ATEM controls directly. What channel is my desktop capture? It is on camera 2, which is that one. And then I'll manually turn on picture in picture. Does that work? Well, it does, but it's in the wrong place because everything is messed up. The macros aren't running. All right, so what I did was, yeah, I did a few things. I changed the settings in here. Well, this was already on YouTube primary ingest server. I can't change any of these settings now because it's late. Because it's live. I changed the quality to streaming high. It was just on auto. I also regenerated the stream key on the a variable RTSP input, and that seems to have worked okay. Oh, I don't want that window up, it still has your stream key. Well, it's too late now. And I'm live, so I'm going to kill that stream key after this.
Even W says you don't want that
yes,
window
I know.
up. It has your stream key.
I know. I could take it down now, but it's kind of too late.
Mitchell
But now that you've brought it,
quality.
now that you've brought it to everybody's attention. All right, so how do I do this? I turn that off, and I press that button, and I get back to here. Yeah. So the other reason that I'm feeling kind of smashed is I yesterday did striking class. Bit of kickboxing, Muay Thai, and that was reasonably relaxed. But then straight after that was jiu-jitsu, and unknown to me, something that I was, like, seriously, I was unaware that this was going to happen. Me and a couple of other people ended up being put in the middle and had opponents cycled in on us repeatedly, basically being shark tanked and starting in bad positions, like doing things like starting from the bottom of mount, so someone basically sitting on top of you, and starting with back control, so someone like on my back with hooks in and a choke, and then having to fight from that position, and then takedowns, and then strikes, so that the coach started cycling in people wearing boxing gloves coming after me, basically trying to punch me in the face, and it just kept going for ages and ages, to the point that I couldn't even really stand up by a little bit into it, and so I actually think my nose is broken. It's all swollen all through here, and hang on, I've got to find a photo to show you. Dropbox. Somewhere, is this it? Yeah. I know this is going to be a horrible sight. But this was what thing? So that's my foot this morning. That's some of the bruising coming out on my left foot, and that was just representative. A lot of my body looks like that right now. Yeah, you can see on my cheek which way there. Got clobbered in the face a bit, and yeah, so it was pretty rough. So basically, a bit over 2 hours of non-stop, super intense, having the crap beaten out of me, and at the end, yeah, how much of your body looks like a foot? Yeah, most of my body looks like a foot, and at the end, I got this. So it was all worth it. Yes, literally smashed. It was a grating. I actually did not even know that I was being graded, because there's another guy that I train with who was being graded for his purple belt, and I thought that was all it was about. And it was only when I'd been in the middle for a while, and my coach just left me in there, didn't cycle me out, because normally what happens is you put someone in the middle, send a few opponents against them, starting in specific positions or whatever, and then you cycle them out so no one's in the middle for too long. And I was in the middle and just never got removed. I was just left there the entire time, and I started to think, hang on, what the hell is going on here? And I realized, it's me that's being tested. Hang on, I will see if there were some funny posts put up on Facebook as well. There was a picture of me just on the ground. Hang on. Okay. this... got to zoom in on this one.
Mitchell R. said congratulations.
Thank
It's
you.
just a flesh wound.
Yeah, just a flesh
And a
wound.
blue belt.
Yeah. So this was me on the ground partway through the process in between two opponents. So someone had just smashed me and someone else was about to take over and do the next thing. Right. So now I need to recover. But the result is that every single part of my body hurts right now. Bruises everywhere. And muscle strain everywhere. Alright. What was I doing? That's right. What I was doing was having not even the slightest clue what I'm doing. Yes, I was thinking about doing more of the KO protocol converter today, but I figure that people are probably kind of sick of that by now. I do want to finish it, but yeah, it's been quite a while. It needs a break. Just do the stuff you usually do, fix problems, says Henrik. Yep. Just looking around. What can I do? What can I do? Keeping in mind that we now have a functioning, we now have a functioning microscope camera, so we can look at stuff. What do I have that I can work on? Or, ooh, okay. Austin says, take a look at the IoT AP on GitHub. Mitchell says, we're here for the stream, doesn't really matter what you do. Yeah, thanks Mitchell. And Henrik says, first you need to create a problem. But I have I have problems everywhere. Problems. Yeah, Mitchell says, we have a lot of those. Now, let's see. IoT AP on GitHub. GitHub. Now, a principled approach for Superhouse. Here we go. Opening IoT AP on GitHub. Are you asking me to open it on GitHub because there is something to look at? Pull request. No, that was from December 2022.
Andy Dix says, can we have an impromptu lab tour, as I've been absent for a while?
Ah, Andy wants an impromptu lab tour. Well, I actually... Today is not a great day to do that because yesterday I was working on some client boards and I moved them just from here to there, and right now there is actually a surprising amount of customer gear around me.
_creations says, look at the fork.
Look at the fork. Aha, that's what it is. Okay, I'll get to that. I've actually got that open on my other screen at the moment, so I'll get to it in a second. So I don't feel comfortable doing a lab tour today because before doing that I would need to put away a bunch of customer boards that they wouldn't want me to show on camera. Yesterday I ran some panels through pick and place machine, and the panels are currently laid out on the bench behind me, and there's other customer stuff all over the place. I need to put it away. Oh, Henrik said, also you have a Dremel, right? I just wondered someday, something like the 500 megahertz relays that I sent, could you cut one of them open? Ooh, I actually don't have a working Dremel at the moment. I've got the little Marant, like the jeweler's grinding thing. It's got a tiny little cutting wheel on it. But my Dremel died, so I need to get a new one. Oh, Keith says you have to clean up for the barbecue next week anyway. Yeah, so maybe next week would be a good week to do a lab tour. Yes, that is, yeah, let's plan for that. I'll make sure my phone is charged, and I will, so the Android phone that I use with DroidCam for doing the mobile thing, which reminds me, I don't even know how I would bring that up right now. Oh, okay, so Henrik doesn't have a Dremel, so that's why he asked. All right, let's have a look at this and do that. Get my face down out of the way. Remove some commands and change setup.sh so you can choose if you want to install it. No, that's not the thing. Where are we going? Back to here. And forks. Here is a fork. No, I don't want to fork it. I wanted to see what the forks were. I don't know how to drive GitHub. Existing forks? You don't have any forks. No, I don't have any forks. I want to see the forks. Where are the forks? What? 2 forks. There. Well, that was annoying. Austin has created a fork of IoTAP. Awesome. Let's see what Austin has been up to. Hang on, why did it go there? I wanted to go to the fork. Oh, it's because I clicked on there. Not functioning today. All right, so let's see what Austin has done in this fork. Yeah, oh, Henrik said it would be cool to see inside. I don't have an X-ray as well, so sad. Yeah, an X-ray machine. I would love to have an X-ray machine. That'd be really useful. Now, Austin, let's see what is going on in your fork. And I'm just having a quick look. YouTube Studio still says excellent connection. Hopefully it will continue working today. Should be a branch, says Austin.
Austin's_creations said should be a branch.
Okay. Main KiCad. Ooh. Here we go. So we have a KiCad branch. And that means that in hardware, I guess, there is KiCad Pi 0. So on major redesign, this will be the original Eagle or whatever they were. CM4 IoTAP. And here we got some KiCad things in here. Nice. These KiCad files are of the original design. Austin got excited about a CM4 design, so put together this schematic. That should be all the needed elements. Awesome. Added the DIY PoE switcher, added the ability for the CM4 to know which power mode is in use. PCB view is left mostly blank for John to do the routing on stream. Cool. Thanks, Austin. But PCB view does have the elements from the last design copied over and converted for KiCad use to ensure DRC passes. That is a whole lot of prep work that you've done there, Austin. That's kind of like cheating, as in cheating for me, because I don't have to do all of the hard work. I can just sit there and do the fun bit of running the traces. That's probably a pretty good way of, yeah, getting some practice. Cool. I should see if I've got the latest KiCad as well. What is it up to? I'm just going to launch KiCad. What have I got? KiCad 7.0. Where is about KiCad? KiCad, about KiCad. Is it annoying anybody that I'm saying KiCad instead of KiCad? So I've got version 706. What is the current version? Am I far behind? Mac OS? I just want to see what the version is. 708. Okay, so there have been 2 minor releases since the version that I've got. So, yeah, why not? Thank you for downloading. I'm going to grab the latest version of KiCad. You know, I am seriously tempted to just start playing around with this right now. So I was going to do this, and I hopefully still will, do this with Mitch, and he offered to sit with me and take me through working on a project and give me the benefit of his many years of experience with KiCad. And hang on, is the download going? It is going. I probably shouldn't have started trying to download 1.6 gig while doing a live stream. But at least the download is down, the live stream is up. Hopefully it won't slow it down too much or cause any problems. Yeah, a sneaky way to convert me. Now where? Okay, so I'm gonna grab this. What's the best way to do this, Austin? Should I? Do you want to do like a pull request or something, and I'll pull this into my repo, or should I download yours? That's probably going to end up being a bit messy. If I check out your repo, then bfits58. Good evening to the UK. Thanks for coming in to say hi. Yes, so what I'm thinking is... Oh, and also, that's right, there was... hang on, I'm going to go and check on something down here. I also had this... I'm just going to bring another thing up. Buy a compute module. Was it this one? This one. Whoop. Here's a... That looks like Sean on the... Is it Sean doing this? Okay, so there was this video. How to make a Raspberry Pi compute module for carrier board in KiCad. Is that Sean Heimel? In the... Hang on, I'm going to... Where is mute? Yeah, it is. I could tell from the the cartoon character that it was Sean. So, yeah, I haven't actually watched this video yet, but I just saw that Sean had done a video about making a CM4 carrier board. So I was going to do that. So
TR said you can just check out his repo.
Yep.
With Git, you can always merge into yours or run two concurrently. Git is flexy.
Yeah, I can. So let's yeah, I can just check out your repo. I can do that. So anyway, that tab has been sitting open for a couple of weeks now, like since we were talking about the IoT AP last time. Just shortly after that, I looked around and I came across Sean's video, and I was going to use that as part of my intro to KiCad, because I wanted to do the CM4 based thing switch the IoT AP to KiCad. But it looks like Austin has already done this. So let's check out. Hang on, I've got to find. Where am I going to do this? I'll do it in. Yeah, I think I'll come into here. CD IoT AP, and what have I got? I'll just make a directory called Austin. That'll do. And then I'm gonna git cologne. Git cologne. I'm gonna grab Austin's version here, and CD. Oh yeah, this is. It's kind of bad because this is a repo inside a repo. I'm not going to leave this in this place. It'll do, but it'll do for just poking around in it. CD IO. Yeah, things will get rather stuffed up. What am I thinking? I don't know. Git branch. What am I on? No. I think this is all screwed up because I've just pulled Git cologne. Damn it. Mod can override, right? I'm actually not sure if I've screwed things up because I have checked this. I've checked out a repo inside a repo, so I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to rm I'm going to remove Austin forcibly and recursively. Goodbye, Austin. And instead, I'm going to cd into source git clone Austin and cd into IoT. Okay, so I'm on main. I might have to pull git branch. I don't think I'll have the other branch. What is the command? Git pull origin. What was the branch called? It's just called KiCad or something. KiCad. Yes, it's called KiCad. Git, oh, okay. Git pull does not appear to be. Git pull. No, that is never going to work. Git pull origin KiCad. Okay. So what have we got here? In hardware, we should now have CM4 IoT AP. Very good. Now let's. No, yeah, okay, stuff it. Install the update. Why not? Let's install software updates live while I'm doing a stream. What can go wrong? Okay, now I'm going to find that. Where was it? Source IoT AP, and let's have a look at this. Oh, let's see if the KiCad download has finished. Where are downloads? KiCad, yes. But first, I'm going to quit out of the existing KiCad. Where is it? KiCad is there. Quit. 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 I said. Quit. All right. Now. New one. Open. Oh, here it is. It's down here. And installing KiCad. It is in the process. An older folder. Do I want to replace it? Yes. All right, KiCad 708. So just a question for the KiCad experts I know out there. I know that there are nightlies and things that have all the latest features in it, but from what I've seen people generally do, it's follow the releases most of the time, because the nightlies can have breakage and bad things happening. So you get all of the sweetness of funky new features and cool things, but at the expense of stability. So should I just do, let's see, KiCad. Gotta see if I can launch it. Mac OS will complain, I'm sure. It'll say unverified developer or something like that. So I'm going to have to tell Mac OS to, yes, trust it. Are you sure you want to open it? Yes, I do want to open it. Oh, maybe it's going to work. Cool. All right. Now I should have 708. And I do. I've got KiCad 708. Nice. IoT AP, is this the correct one? Source, yes it is. Hardware, KiCad, CM4 IoT AP, this is what I want. And let's have a look at what Austin has given me for Christmas. PCB schematic. Let's have a quick look at the schematic to start with. Pull that up there. And what have we got? Woo! Yeah, so nice. Right click and I can pan as I want to. It's not as nice as two-finger panning on the trackpad. I'm going to have, it makes me cry a little bit that I can't do that. I want to be able to just use the trackpad on my left hand and two-finger pan, but instead two-finger zooms. That's sad. So, what am I doing? That's right. All right, where is the... Hang on. Why is this slightly off the screen? It's like there's... Look at this. There's a... Hang on, I'm going to try relocating this window That's better. Yeah, there was some weird windowing thing there. I'm just going to try maximizing it. That's better. Okay. So where is the fit view, fit to view, fit? That one, zoom to fit. Beautiful. All right. Right.
Mitchell R. said it's probably a setting for the touch controls law.
Yeah, I hope it is. It'd be really nice if I could change, let's say, preferences, no, settings. Is there any setting? Mouse and touchpad, zoom speed, auto, pan zoom, automatically pan while moving object, center, use zoom acceleration, left button, middle button, pan, pan, and right button is pan, left button, drag. Scroll gestures. Okay. What options have we got here? Vertical touchpad or scroll wheel movement is zoom. Pan. Okay, so pan up and down with shift. Pan left and right with command. Pan left, right with horizontal movement. I'm just going to turn that on because I want to see what happens. And I might have to close this. All right, so I'm going to zoom in now. I can pan left and right. Yes, that's what I want. So panning left and right, but up and down still zoom. So what I want is panning in all directions with 2 fingers on the touchpad. And then I want, yeah, so this is pinch and zoom. Like this is pinching for zoom. That's exactly what I want. I want to be able to pinch to zoom. That is the way the user interface should work. And then 2 fingers sliding pans. Horizontally, that's the way it should work. But vertically, it still zooms. So it is...
Mitchell R. said at Austins_creations, you have converted this lead haha.
It is... Yeah, I've converted. Yeah, so it is very close. The trackpad behavior is close to what I want. Horizontal panning is good, but I don't want it to zoom when I... This should be panning vertically instead of zooming. So close. All right, fit. I've just been playing with KiCad. I should be looking at what the thing is. All right, so what has Austin put in here? Let's start with the easy bit first, which is the big block down in the, zoom in, which is the big block down in the bottom left. This is the compute module 4 connectors. So 2 connectors side by side, you can see. So the compute module has 2 long connectors on it. In fact, I've got them here, I think, somewhere. Just like over there on a bench. I ordered some because I was anticipating making this change, going to a CM4. So we've got the 2 connectors, and oh, interesting. The second connector is numbered from pins 101 to pin 200. So we've got pin 1 to 100 on the first connector, 101 to 200 on the second connector. So what have we got? We've got a whole lot of I/O. We've got this, whatever this is, 74 LVC 1G07SE. N power LED, looks like an inverter buffer sort of thingy. So that's driving the power LED? Really? Pi LED N power. Okay. Sure. And what have we got over here? Getting used to this. Slowly getting used to this. Jumper 2 bridged, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, GPIO VREF. So GPIO VREF is connected to 3.3 volts. Interesting. Okay, so we've got an option here to connect VREF to either 1.8 volts or to 3.3 volts. And of course, if both of those were connected at the same time, very, very bad things would happen. I haven't done anything with a CM4, but I assume that there are some situations where you would want to set your I/O to 1.8 volts, because a lot of modern peripherals are 1.8 volts now. Oh, okay, Austin said that is direct from Pi Foundation carrier board. Okay, cool. It's just the way they did it, so it's using that as a reference. Hey, Vladimir. What's on the menu today is messing around in KiCad. Yeah, that's right. So I would expect 3.3 volts on GPIO VREF. And what else have we got? There's a 16 volt 500 milliamp polyfuse. So this is on 1.8 volt out. The CM4 must have its own onboard 1.8 volt regulator. So it's supplying a 1.8 volt out, and then it's going through a polyfuse. All right. So some of this is probably a little bit unnecessary. We could simplify it for our own purposes. We could just drop the option for the 1.8 volt I/O and go straight for just hardwire GPIO VREF to 3.3 volts. But because, yeah, I don't anticipate... Ooh, I was just trying to pan up then and it didn't work. All right, I'm going to use the right button on the trackball instead. Ethernet pair. So we've got Ethernet pair 1, pair 0, positive and negative. And what else? Pair 2, pair 3 over on this side. Ethernet LEDs, activity LED. Yeah, it's a lot of I/O on this. Cam. Oh, it's got all of the camera interfaces. That's partly why these connectors look so busy. They've got everything on them, including things that aren't on the normal Raspberry Pi headers, because it brings out things like HDMI and the camera interface and PCIe. So this stuff, and there's HDMI 1 there, more HDMI 1 there, HDMI 0 down here. Most of this we just don't care about. DSIO, but yeah, and the camera interface. So yeah, most of that we don't care about. We actually only need a very small amount of I/O, because really all we're doing is using this as a fancy breakout for the CM4, bringing out the Ethernet so that we can do fancy stuff with that and act as a bridge to Wi-Fi. Alright, so here we have the Ethernet socket. So this is the ARJ139. I can't remember if that's the same part number as I was using or not. So Austin, gigabit Ethernet, yes, says Austin. So we've got all 4 pairs. That's something else. I didn't make note of that, but Austin is absolutely right to point it out. What you can see here is pair 0, pair 1, pair 2, pair 3. So this is using all 4 pairs on the Ethernet cable and is capable of gigabit Ethernet, which is cool. And this socket is also capable of gigabit Ethernet, I believe. So it's got the 4 pairs coming out here. It's broken out VA and VB, 1 and 2 for the power output going into the PoE regulator. We've got activity LED control there, so LEDs on the connector. Austin, you're a champion. So Austin says new one. So this part number is a new part number, but the kicker is that it is gigabit capable, PoE capable, and has the correct clip position, which is the holy grail. Nice work finding that. The clip position is important because of the orientation of the PCB inside the enclosure. With the default orientation of the clip position on Ethernet sockets, it would end up against the case and you wouldn't be able to unplug the Ethernet cable unless you used a screwdriver or something. But this one has an inverted clip position, which means that it's accessible. Very good. So I think I need to order some of these. Let's have a look at, I'm going to do a quick search on DigiKey because I am in desperate need of ordering a bunch of parts. And I'll see if this is available from DigiKey, because if it is, I will piggyback it. Ooh, look at this. I will piggyback it onto the order. Wow, it's an expensive Ethernet jack, but that, I suppose, is the consequence of getting something niche like this. How many will I order? I think I'll order 2 at $13.76 each. That is not a cheap Ethernet jack. Does everything, but it's not cheap. All right, add to cart. Sticking 2 of those in the shopping cart. I'd only order 1, except the only reason that I don't ever like ordering just 1 of something in case I screw it up. Yeah, as Austin says, it was actually on the cheaper end of what I could find. Like you said, Holy Grail. Yeah, it is tough. And the thing is that each one of those requirements compounds. You've got to get the intersection of the Venn diagram in the middle where it has all of the different things, and there aren't really very many options. Yeah, but this one, just based on what I can see of the connections here, not having looked at the data sheet, it looks like this has got all of the built-in magnetics and rectification and stuff that is required for PoE coming off gigabit Ethernet, like allowing gigabit to still work. And let's have a look at that data sheet. So allowing gigabit to work and PoE as well. So we've got, oh, it's a huge connector too. It's very long, probably because of the transformers in the back of it. So what do we have? This is the interesting bit. Oh, interesting. Well, what is interesting is that I do not see the rectifiers in there, but that's okay. That can be done externally. So I think the rectifiers are probably only useful if you're doing low speed Ethernet anyway. Because if you're using all 4 pairs, I think typically that's done externally. So this is on the right is the RJ45 connector or the 8P8C connector for people who want to be pedantic about it. And on the left is the pins that are on the back of the thing. So this is where the PCB mount goes, and it's got all of the magnetics built in. Yeah, rectifiers are on the PoE module, says Austin. Yes. So the output of the, where are we? Let's see, CT. So CT is center tap. P1 center tap comes up here, and at least I thought it was center tap. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I always thought that the CT on the pinout stood for center tap on the transformer. Oh, it is. Okay, it passes through this other one. So it is the center tap, just as an example. So CT, pin 1, comes through here, up here, passes through this transformer, and then it's the center tap on this transformer. Alright, so what else do we have? Coming down there, TRD2+, etc., etc., etc. Okay, very good. So it looks like that is a good find, Austin. And now I just need to buy some. Alright, well, that is now in my DigiKey shopping cart. I should probably check around, see if it's cheaper anywhere else. Henrik asked, have I used PCP size transformers? I mean the thin ones. No, not knowingly. I may have in a fever dream at some point, but I don't actually know what you're referring to. Oh, PCB size transformers. No, I don't think I have. I think I know what you're referring to, but no, I haven't used transformers like that. Oh, PCB mount thin ones. No. I've used plenty of inductors and things, but I haven't used thin transformers. Okay, so that is the Ethernet jack. Looks like a good find. All right, so coming up, let's just zoom out a bit, see what else there is on the board here. Might come back to this part almost last. What's over here? Just because, I'll get this out of the way because it's easy. There's a quick connector to keep all the quick fans happy. What was over here? Mounting holes. Okay, they can. LEDs. So, oh right, this is all of the. Well, this part here says SK6812, but I'm pretty sure that is the same footprint as a WS2813B, or is it a 12? No, a 6812 is like a WS2812, and I think I'm going to put 2813Bs on here. Same footprint, says Austin. Okay. Even though the Bs have 6 pins. 50-50. Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't have pins 5 and 6. Oh, planar transformer, says Henrik. Yes. The short answer is no, I haven't used them. I do know what you mean, but I haven't used them. So planar transformers are ones that are wound in a single plane, and you can do things like you can actually make a transformer out of PCB material by having 2 traces that spiral around or something. So you can make really, really thin little transformers, or even make transformers directly on the PCB, out of the PCB itself. Oh yeah, Austin says 4 pins, yeah. Yeah, so the WS2813Bs that I've been using are 6 pin. Although I don't actually know what's on the IoT AP. I might have still had WS2812s on it. I may not have switched that over to Bs yet. Yeah, okay, Austin. So Austin says I match type and position in the PCB view. Yeah, because that one was done so long, like literally years ago, I think I was still using the 4-pin LEDs at the time. So this would be a match to what I would have had on that. However, I now have, right now loaded in the pick and place machine, I have a reel of WS2813Bs, which are the 6-pin version with the data backup line, which is kind of clever. I was trying to explain, at some point in the past I read about how the data backup works on the data redundancy on the WS2813B LEDs, and I could not really remember it, and I think it was Hugh actually that I was trying to explain it to. And no, it was Andy. That's right. I was talking to Andy about it. And I started trying to explain it, and I was butchering it so badly that I knew that I really didn't have a clue what I was talking about. So I then went back and looked it up again and refreshed my memory. So now I remember how the backup data lines work on WS2813Bs. It is quite clever. But I won't go into it right now, unless people really care. Power selection GPIO monitor. Okay, so this is getting into the most complicated part, the cleverest part, and therefore the part that was not done by me. This is Austin's work, and this is, so I'll just briefly look at USB before we get on to the tricky bit. So USB receptacle, nothing too exciting to mention there except that it's a USB connector. Because of course the CM4 doesn't have a USB socket on it. A Raspberry Pi does, like a full-size Raspberry Pi has USB on it, and you can plug in HDMI and all of those sorts of things. But if you want to connect USB to the CM4, you have to BYO the USB socket, and so that's added on there. All right. Now, getting over to the super clever bit, the bit that I don't really understand, but Austin has put a lot of work into this. So the point of this power supply, and if you look at the overall thing, where is fit? Okay, what I need to do is set up some. What am I in? Oh, hang on. KiCad. I think I'd actually done this previously. I need to set up a Stream Deck profile for tools in KiCad, the same way that I've got it running in Fusion and Eagle, so that I got one button click on my left hand to select different tools and do different things. Now, this bottom left looks complicated, but it's really not. It's just a couple of connectors with some stuff coming off it. The clever bit of all of this is this top left section up here, this quadrant. Now, where is zoom to selection? All right, so if I do that, boom, nice. Yeah, so I need to create some hotkeys for things like zoom to selection, etc., so I can jump around. Yep. Austin said that power supply is the same one you have on the bench from the last mailbag. Yep. And it's the thing that we tested on a stream it'd be months ago now. So the point of all of this is to allow power to come from multiple sources. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm slightly tired. To come from multiple sources and to auto-select the correct source. So we have a barrel jack here, the classic 2.1mm DC power jack. So if you've got just a regular plug pack, you can plug it in, send it 12 volts or something. It's a fairly wide input voltage range system, so it's not particularly fussy. And then that gives us the oh, maybe I'm lying there. Maybe we do want specifically 12 volts for other purposes. We'll look at that in a moment. So anyway, power comes in from the barrel jack, goes through this reverse polarity protection diode, and goes to the 12 volt rail. Then we also have over here the, oops, zooming the wrong way. Yeah, I find that slightly counterintuitive. So I'm just trying to get this fixed in my head because I want to get used to the way the user interface works here. If I drag down, it zooms in, and if I drag up, it zooms out. That feels backwards to me. It feels like if I drag up, it should zoom in, and if I drag down, it should zoom out. But maybe that's just my brain being broken. All right, so here we have the DP1435, which is the Power over Ethernet regulator module. So we've got VA1, VA2 coming in, and we've got VB1, VB2 coming in via this relay. So we've got VB1, VB2 here, which I believe come from the Ethernet socket. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah, so VA1, VA2, VB1, VB2 all come from the Ethernet socket. And Austin's put a note on here, VA1, VA2 are for 802.3 AF, and the VB pins are for DIY, passive. So VB being for passive, if we have a look back up here, we can see the VB pins, the passive PoEs, switched on this relay. So normally it is being passed to the input of the PoE regulator module. And so we've got the VA pins to the regulator module. The V pins by default also go to the regulator module. And if this relay is fired, the VB pins instead go directly to the plus 12 net and to ground. So that relay needs to fire in certain situations to essentially bypass this regulator here. Okay, so then we have the LM2596, which is the 5-volt regulator. That's the one that Austin has used in many projects, and it seems to work very well. It's got that 33 microhenry inductor on there. This is capable of a reasonable amount of current. It's I can't remember the specs. So this is set for 5 volts output. I can't remember the specs on it, but it's like 3 amps or some. Yeah, it's some fairly high current rating. It's a fairly beefy power supply. And then we've got plus 12 VA up here. So this net, now how do I do a show? What's the command for show? No, that didn't work. Choose symbol library. Yeah, sorry, I won't explain what I was doing then. I was just trying to, I was trying to use the macro keyboard and it didn't work. All right, where is show? How do I highlight a net? I know that I've been told this before. Next to the 1 key. Next to the 1 key? Is that like the any key? Where is the 1 key? Oh, tilde. That's what you're talking about. Okay. Press the tilde. And then that. Can I highlight a net? No, when I press the tilde key, it comes up with choose symbol. I don't want to choose a symbol. Okay, this might be something to come back to. Stefan! Greetings from Australia to Austria. We stole some of your letters. And it is nice to have you here live. So, all right. Net is a symbol. Net says Jack's Tech. Net is a symbol. Okay. Right. So what I'm trying to achieve here is just highlighting a net. I want to be able to click on this and have it highlight all of that net across the entire schematic and PCB. So, Jack's Tech says, but there are no kangaroos in Austria. Yeah. That's one area where we win. 1 hour. 1 hour.
System notification. 1 hour remaining.
Okay. Click the 12 VA symbol, then hit that hotkey. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to click that. When I do that, it opens another window. Hang on the other screen, so you can't see it. It's opening this window. So I'm going to cancel that. If I click that, it opens this. If I click it first, like if I click tilde first and then click on that, it does that. No symbol selected. That? No, I don't know. I don't understand. Right. Hit escape first to go back to normal click. Okay. I've hit escape about 10 times. So I'll select that and then click tilde. Yes! Yes! Thank you! That was it. So escape gets me back out of whatever the thing is. Same as other CAD programs as well. So I was in a mode that I shouldn't have been in. All right, so if I'm just going to hit escape again. So I deselect. I'm just going to play with this for a bit. So if I select that, So I've selected one particular net segment there, just that segment. And now if I click tilde, it highlights that net. So that was ground that I had selected. Cool, okay. And you can see that it's highlighted all the way across the schematic here. Very nice. Now, escape again. And what was I doing? That's right, what I was doing was, I'll just get this so that it's all in view. I'll select that net, the plus 12 VA, hit tilde, and it's highlighted there. So the positive coming from VB over the Ethernet cable goes to this point, and it comes in through this diode, and there's an LED there to show that we have power available on that power source. And from there it goes into the voltage regulator, the 5-volt regulator. So we have 3 different ways to get power to the input side of this regulator. So if let's just try this. There we go. Nice. So the V-in pin on the regulator, if we look at this net, and you can see the 3 diodes here, there are 3 places power can come from. Either direct from the DC jack through this diode, it can come through PoE 802.3 from that regulator module through this diode, or it can come from passive PoE down through this diode. And in all cases, it ends up on the input side of the 5-volt regulator. And that is how we have universal power. Yeah. Oh, Jack's Tech. This is referring to kangaroos, I think. They aren't as friendly and cute as you think they are. I was referring to the Vienna tourism advertisement. Yeah. Kangaroos are crazy. Yeah, they're kind of... Let's... Hang on. I'm just pulling up a picture of a kangaroo. Yeah, they're oh, dies at age 12. Hang on, I'm just gonna... I just did a search for pictures of kangaroos, and this was the first match. So that is, who was it? Roger the kangaroo. He died at 12 years old. Yeah. Kangaroos are funny things. They're, what is it? It's like, imagine you got a cross between a rat and a cat, and you fed it steroids from the moment of conception, and then got it, yeah, and then just got it lifting weights or something its whole life. Kangaroos are tough. Scott says kangaroos are just mutant moose. I don't even know what they are. I've never actually paid attention. What is a kangaroo? Like, in terms of its... Kangaroo. See, this... Normally I'm chasing squirrels. Today I am chasing kangaroo. They are a marsupial. Yes, I know that. Ooh, kangaroo meat. Yes, kangaroo meat is delicious. Kangaroos are 4 marsupials from the family Macropodidae. Macropods meaning large foot. Yeah, so it's a marsupial. Yeah, wallaroo, wallaby. So it's a grouping of species same taxonomic family, Macropodidae. Yeah, okay. Taxonomy. All right. Eastern grey kangaroo, western grey. Yeah. I haven't seen a kangaroo for a couple of weeks. Last time I saw one was, where would it have been? Mount Dandenong or somewhere? I can't remember where. Yeah, it would have been on Mount Dandenong out the back of my mum's place a few weeks ago. It's the last time I saw one. Yes, kangaroo fighting. They are, yeah, they are tough bastards. Tradie says, I have a mob of roos in my backyard. Yeah, Iron Chip says we get a few of them nearby here every now and then. Yeah, they, Jackstack says, surprised you don't see them down around the factory. No, it's a little bit too industrial around here. Not enough feed for them, so they wouldn't head in this direction. There are lots of rabbits around here, and foxes, because wherever you get rabbits, you get foxes. Yeah, there are many rabbits living around this area, but not nearly as many as possums. So many possums. What am I doing? No idea. Okay, and over here we have power selection GPIO monitor. Nice. So this is something that Austin, I don't remember this on the on Austin's previous PoE project, but this is a way of doing monitoring of the different power sources. 10K, yeah, okay, so we've got inputs on the right and outputs on the left, and I am going to do my best to not have my brain broken by that. Actually, this is a good opportunity for some KiCad learning. All right, if I wanted to mirror this whole chunk of things, okay, the way I would do this in Fusion, and I am aware that the process will be totally different, but just this is like my instinct. What I would do is drag across all of this and then select a mirror tool. Oh, look, there's a mirror tool. Flip selected items from left to right. And it worked. Okay, and now it's slightly off center. So I want to move that group. How do I move the group? Because it's all still selected. Yeah, Scott says, so select the chunk, right click mirror. So it's the same process as in, what should I call it? I was gonna say Fusion and Eagle, but it, maybe I should call it Feagle or Fusion, whatever the fusion of Fusion and Eagle is. Move is M key, or you can drag. Okay, so left click and drag. Let's just try that. Left click, drag. Nice. That is so intuitive. That actually worked really well. So the reason that for doing that is just the in terms of the layout of the schematic, the way my brain works is signal flow should start from top left. Where's the screen? There's your top left mirror image going to bottom right. So ground should always be like bottom right. Power and input should be sort of top left. Now in this case we've got power up here, but that's just because that's a pull-up resistor. But the signal comes in here. So what we've got is 2.1 millimeter sig. That will be the power coming from the 2.1 millimeter jack, turning on this optocoupler, which then pulls this to ground. So we have 3.3 volts applied to GPIO 8 through this 10K pull-up resistor, So normally GPIO 8 will be high, and then if this optocoupler is turned on, it will pull GPIO 8 down to ground, so the signal will go low, which means GPIO 8 is an active low power monitoring signal from the 2.1 millimeter. Okay, so this is yeah, this is an interesting point about KiCad. So something that I couldn't get, or that seemed really counterintuitive to me when I've used KiCad in the past, was moving things and the connections breaking. Like you grab a part and move it, and all of a sudden it's disconnected from all its nets and things, which drove, yeah, that sort of drove me nuts. So Austin says move is the M key, or you can drag. And then Scott said dragging keeps connections, move doesn't. And Austin says not entirely in KiCad 7. Yeah, so just as an experiment, without doing anything else, I am going to just left click on this optocoupler and, oops, I can't click and drag, I've got to click. Hang on, how do I move it? There, okay, so it's rubber banding. That's what I expected to happen, as in that feels natural to me. When I grab something and start moving it, it shouldn't lose its connections. Now I'm just going to undo that and put it back where it was. Now I'm going to hit escape so I'm not selecting anything. I'm going to press M for move. So I think I now have the move tool selected. Grab that. Nope. Okay, maybe if I do it the other way. Escape. I'm going to click on it to select it. Press M for move, and now when I move it around, it is disconnected from its nets. Okay, well that's interesting. So now that I understand that, there are two different modes of doing it. Dragging it, yeah, M for move disconnects it from the nets and lets you take it somewhere else, which is a very useful thing. That can be useful. If I put it back down there and then just click and drag, now the nets are connected. Very good. Learning, learning. Select and move, says Scott. Yes. All right, so now I can either move things and rubber band it, or I can move things and disconnect them. Coolio. Yeah, escape while moving cancels. Yes. Thank you for the lessons and the tips. All right, so now that I have rotated that so that it works better in my brain, what am I looking at next? What am I going to look at next? Well, we've already looked at all of this stuff, haven't we? What have we got down here? Okay, so we've got the 3.3 volt regulator down here. There's a Max 15062A, and that is also using a 33 microhenry inductor. 45 minutes.
System notification.
45 minutes remaining. Right, so we have a 3.3 volt regulator. What is this over here? What have we got? What is a TPS 3700? In A, in B, oh, that's right, I remember. This is the clever little circuit that Austin did to determine when to turn this relay on. So this is like a voltage window thingamajigamy. So it's got these resistors here, the 62K resistor, the 2 meg resistor, and the 22K resistor going into the inputs. So we've got in A plus, in B minus, out A, out B, which is just tied together, and they are forming a voltage window switch, which then controls this MOSFET over here, which is controlling power to the relay. So it turns the relay on if it is being fed power down the wire that is within the correct window for DIY PoE. Okay, now I think we have looked at the schematic enough. Let's have a look at the PCB layout. Is that how I do it? Looks like it is. It just opened on the wrong monitor. All right, let's bring it up here. And, no, not the schematic editor. Leave that there. Back to here. And there. And maximize the window. Well, kind of. Expand it to fit the size. All right, so we've got... yeah, I need to remove that by John Oxer or add add many names to this. Yeah, so hopefully mechanically this is all carried over accurately, because the mounting hole locations for this are not for the CM4, but the mounting hole locations for the overall PCB are not that easy to get in the correct place. It took me a couple of iterations of having the PCB fabricated, because they're all kind of on weird offsets in different planes. Like you can see here, for example. Oh no, maybe those are on the same plane. Yeah, but I think these two are actually on different Y positions. Yeah, that one. Anyway, the positioning of the mounting holes is very odd, and the screw holes. So I measured it and didn't get it quite right on the first iterations of the PCB. So then I tweaked it for the second version, and then it fitted nicely. Austin says, copied the mounting holes exactly, and CM4 is correct size too. Nice. Yeah, okay, so position. Austin, did you position the CM4 here in particular, like specifically in this location, or is this just sort of throwing it into the top of the board to put it somewhere up out of the way? Does it matter if it gets rotated or anything? Not that I necessarily even need to, I'm just wondering if there is a reason for it being there. Now, part of it is that there are a lot of traces that are going to come off this top connector, and there is very little space above this on the PCB. So what I'll probably have to do is bring traces out to vias and duck it down under the PCB in this area directly under the connector, because there's no room above. Yeah, Austin says, I mostly put it there because that's where the 0 was. Yeah. Yeah. Let's, all right. Let's see if I can move. Is this a single thing, this CM4? Okay. M for move. Woohoo! And then I can move it around. Looks like that keep out. I wonder if that keep out is going to move. If I put this down somewhere else. No, the keep out hasn't moved with it. I'm just going to undo that. And over here we have a big collection of all the parts ready to put on. Now for that USB-C receptacle, I wonder if we should make that vertical or maybe expose it. Maybe expose it on the edge of the PCB so that we can plug into it. And the other thing is, I'm even wondering what the USB-C receptacle is for, like in what circumstances it's going to be used. Yeah, Austin says you'll have to move or select the keep out with it. Yeah. Oh, in the PCB editor, D for drag. Right. Chip asked, is the CM4 connector going to compromise the mechanical structure being close to the edge of the PCB? I don't think so. Austin says USB for programming. Yep. All right, so the connector, no, these are very fine pitch surface mount connectors. In fact, they are painfully fine pitched. I can't remember how fine, but it is really fine, like annoyingly I can't say it without swearing. So I think these are like 0.2 millimeter pitch or 0.25 millimeter pitch, something like that. Yeah, Stephen W says 0.2 millimeter. So if you think about this, from this pin on the left, so pin 99, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1. So this area here that I have selected, that entire area is 1 millimeter wide. That is ridiculous. So yeah, it's a sort of thing that's a real pain in the ass for rework, and the pins are slightly under the connector body as well, just to make it even nastier. So this is actually one thing that has turned me off using the CM4. If someone put a CM4 on a carrier board with a subset of the pins broken out on a larger pitch, I would use that. I would much prefer to use that than to try to put these connectors down. So keep in mind that there are, how many? Was it 200 pins? No, 100 pins. So there are 100 pins per connector on a 0.2 millimeter pitch. That's horrible. Yeah. So I'm moving up because I'm zoomed out. I can't see what I'm doing. I was moving the CM4 around just because I was clicking and dragging stuff. So undo all of that. And yeah. So as I was saying, this is actually one of the things that has put me off using a CM4 for projects in the past. It just seems like such a painful thing to do mechanically, to do the assembly on this. Now, if you're farming this out and you're getting someone else to do the assembly and it's their responsibility, then you don't have to worry about it. You can spec this and say, yeah, put a CM4 on there and these are the connectors to use. But if you're going to be the person doing the solder paste onto 0.2 millimeter pitch connectors and doing the reflow and then the rework and inspecting this under the microscope, that is not something that is fun to do. Yeah. Oh, Austin says 0.4 millimeters actually, but still sucks, yes. Some Cool It Fun says, guessing you would need to rotate the CM4 90 degrees for a better fit between those posts. I have a feeling you're right. I think let's see, it would make routing much easier as well, coming off these connectors. If, okay, let's see how I can do this. Can I do that to select, oh, and the other thing is, going from that direction versus going from that direction. Does KiCad do that? Yes, it does. Nice. So if I drag from right to left, it selects everything it touches. If I drag from left to right, it selects everything that it encompasses. Yeah, good. So it follows the CAD convention that way. Or is that backwards? I can't remember. But in any case, you can do it one way to select everything and the other to select just the things you touch. So now, if I move this, I can move that with the keep out zone intact, which is good. And if I wanted to rotate it, looks like there are rotate tools up here. Now, is there a context menu for this? Move, rotate counterclockwise, rotate clockwise. There is. Which way around do I want it? I have no idea. I don't know which is best. Keep out, Wi-Fi keep out zone. Maybe that should be up towards the top so that it's towards the edge of the PCB, which means I want to rotate this clockwise and then put it down around here somewhere. What's the grid setting here? It feels quite fine. Oh, Gavin asked, what was the final choice on the HDMI for debugging? Missed earlier part of this podcast. We haven't actually talked about that today, but my feeling is that it could be very, very useful. Although one of the things you can do is the CM4 can be unplugged from this carrier and it can be plugged into a larger carrier board with HDMI and everything on it for debugging purposes. So we're not entirely restricted to doing everything on the carrier board. All right, now, next, so the question I was getting to is, what's the grid? Down here it says grid is 0.5 millimeters. Okay, now, where do I get to grid settings? Grid. Is there a grid setting thing on here? Stephen says it's trivial to implement, just needs HDMI socket and ESD protection. Austin says second tool at the top, that one, design rules, is this where the defaults, formatting, text constraints, physical stack up? No, these are, I think I've clicked the wrong thing. What is this one? Settings for paper size and title block info. No, that's print related stuff. Down a row, back at the main area. Oh, okay. Oh, here, I see. So there's this whole extra set of tools down on the left. Looks like this one is, no, not that one, inches, millimeters. That one is the grid. So what else have I got here? Well, I'm just going to click that to see what happens. Oh, that's grid visibility or grid lock. Yeah, visibility. You won't be able to see it, I think, on the live stream. I can see it here. The dots are tiny. The grid is visible there, and if I click that, it's no longer visible. All right, so I'll leave the grid on, and then I've got inches, millimeters. This looks like angle constraints, so that will be to switch between polar and Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, so it's not angle constraints. I was wrong. This is the angle constraints. Limit actions to horizontal, vertical, or 45 degrees from the starting point. Show board's rat's nest. Show rat's nest with curved lines. With curved lines? Oh, what? It's kind of silly, but that's cool. All right, with curved lines. In a strange way, I like it. So this is the traditional rat's nest where it just does direct point-to-point lines, and that's the curved version. Yeah, interesting. So once again, this is going to be hard to see on screen, but here we've got curved lines between these pins on the Ethernet connector and these pins on the CM4 header. Now if I turn off curved, it's all straight between them, and they cross over. It looks kind of jumbled. I'm wondering if making it curved is actually going to make it easier to follow at some point.
System notification.
30 minutes remaining. Now what else have we got here? What's this tool? Toggle inactive layers. Oh, okay, so this is like focus mode. Toggle inactive layers between normal and dimmed is what that tool says. So if I click that, it means the other layers are just dimmed out. You can still see them, but they're paler, which is like single layer mode in Feagle. So if I turn that off, it means we can see all of the layers. This one, what does this one do? Toggle net highlighting, show filled areas, show on his own boundaries. Okay, there's nothing, not all zones are filled. Yep, that's all right. I don't care about that right now. What's this one? Show pads in outline mode, show vias in outline mode. We don't have any to view. And this looks like layers. Show hide the appearance manager. Okay, so that's on the right hand side. And this is properties manager. Okay, so we can bring out a properties manager on the left. What happens if I select something like this LED while I'm in Properties Manager. Okay, cool. It shows me a bunch of information about it. Positions and orientation and data about the footprint. All right, cool. I'll turn that off. Back to the grid. Back to the grid. Track. Use net class width. Edit predefined sizes. All right, I'm not going to worry about that for now. I'm not actually going to do any routing right now. I'm just tooling around in KiCad and orienting myself. Yeah, Scott says curved rat's nest sometimes makes it easier to see which is which. That's right. So that was my my brain got diverted. That was kind of the point I was starting to make here. So here we've got a whole bunch of nets that are going.
Austin's _ creation set at the top below the save icon. You'll see a row of items tracked via grid, zoom.
Aha. Cool. So yeah, these are straight, but if I click on curved, it can make it a little bit clear, a little bit easier to follow which is going where, because you no longer end up with all of the air wires bunched on top of each other, but they sort of curve around. So that can make things a bit clearer. That is pretty clever. All right, now what was Austin just saying? At the top below the save icon, you'll see a row of items, track via grid zoom. Track via grid zoom. Yes, there we go. So it's been right here in front of my face the whole time and I haven't seen it. So zoom is how far zoomed in we are, is my guess. That's the obvious thing. And grid is currently set to 0.5 millimeters. And we can select different predefined grids. That's nice. Okay, now I think, yeah, because of the colors here, it's going to be pretty much impossible for you to see these grid markings because they are tiny. And I can see them on my monitor, but it's probably not going to come through on the stream very well. And as you zoom in, they don't get bigger. They stay the same tiny, like 1 pixel size. So, what am I doing? Okay, we've got the power input there, we've got the APAC socket on there, on the bottom of the thing. Now, how do I tell if this is on the top or the bottom? Down here it says back flipped under board side. So that is on the bottom of the PCB. And if I was more familiar with KiCad, I would probably be able to tell from color codes or something as well, like the layer colors. But I'm not familiar with the KiCad colors yet, so I can't just look at it and know. And this one also, not that, I want that. Select the whole thing. Also says board side back flipped, which is good. Now if I select this one, just as a comparison, it says board side front. Right. Now these ones that are flipped have this sort of salmon colored outline, and these ones have more like a grayish sort of outline. So that's probably how I can visually tell the difference. My guess is that these salmon colored parts are on the back of the board, which is where we want them to be. Hit F to see it flip. Cool. Select and then F for flip. It's interesting that it's moving horizontally. That is very interesting. Does that mean that the origin point is not centered on the horizontal axis? Yeah, Scott says salmon is back side silk, yellow with front silk. Aha. Cool. All right, now I'm just looking at that. Oh, maybe it's because it's slightly off the grid, and that's why it is moving horizontally when I flip it. So if I've got it selected at the moment, if I just press F, So that, which way? Is that top or bottom? I think that is when it's on the top, that is when it's on the bottom. Or is it the other way around? I can't tell. Oh, that is back when it's on the, so it's on the bottom. That is when it's on the top. Yeah, Scott says footprint origin is not centered, and Austin says not perfectly center origin. Yep. Okay. What? It's on the back now. All right. So I'll leave it where it is on the back. And excuse me. Okay, so just gathering my thoughts here for a moment. What I could do, where are we? Fit. I need to make a little to-do list for this. Was there a to-do list in the schematic? I have a feeling that there was one in the Fiegel version of this, but I don't think, oh, no, there are these notes that Austin has put in relation to the power management, but I have a feeling, so I'm going to risk it all now and try launching Fusion. I have a feeling that there were some notes, or maybe I did it in a text file. I can't remember. It might have just been a text file. Let's have a look. I'm going to come in here, projects, IOTAP, and was there a note? Oh yeah, there are notes and notes 1. 8th of October, so they were fairly recent. Cat notes, what was in that? I think notes 1. Yep.
Austin's underscore creation said hit Control S in the schematic view.
Ooh, okay. This is the equivalent of accepting random commands from strangers on the internet and typing them into the terminal on your computer.
Austin's underscore creation said hit Control S in the schematic view.
Yep, because I have no idea what Control S is going to do. And in fact, actually I'm on a Mac, so I don't know if Control will do it. It might have to be Command S, but let's see. So Control S. Ah, okay. Is that a text box? No. What has this done? I don't get it. All right, I'm going to try Command S. What does Command S do? Nothing. All right. Back to Control S. Oh, hang on. Sheet properties. What did that do? Sorry, it opened something on a different window and I didn't even see it. All right, Control S. And click. Oh, sheet. I see. So Control S is for adding a sheet, which is probably what you're saying in the chat. What is the chat saying?
Austin's underscore creation said should have saved.
Oh, should have saved. Right. Stephen says, remember kids, always prepend sudo before any commands you randomly copy from the internet. Exactly. That is what makes it safe. If you use sudo, you are protected from those bad people on the internet. Thing is, I shouldn't even say that as a joke. So, yes, okay, so what Austin was trying to get me to do was just save. But in the process, it showed me something interesting, which is the sheet thingamajigamy. Yeah, so I was just saving. Anyway, it's saved. Command S saves. So if I do Control S, it gives me this tool, which if I zoom in, says Untitled Sheet, and then click there, and then I can create a new sheet. So I think this is how you do hierarchical sheets in KiCad. And then I could have a sheet that has subsections of the design, and I can name it in here, etc. Anyway, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to cancel out of it. But it was interesting to accidentally discover that. So doing a new sheet is Control S. I will try to remember that, but I'm sure that I won't. Now, where was I? Aha! I was back in here. Oh, where is my... Ah, come on. I just got out of the terminal. Have a look at notes. Okay, here are some notes from last time we were all talking about this. All right, question was switch to CM4, and that does not need to be there. Switch to CM4, and I think the answer for this is yes. And then we've got some options here like the Seed CM4 dual gigabit Ethernet board and the Eagle footprint here for the CM4. But Austin has already taken care of that for me. And Austin's part number, JK0, etc. I think that was for the previous Ethernet jack, although I could be wrong. Validation. Okay, so these were the things that we were checking out. You have VA, VB swapped, currently trying to tap DIY. Yep, okay, so Austin has fixed this for me, I believe. Reading GPIO. Okay, and then it's notes on various things about how to do the stuff. All right. I thought that there was more of a to-do list as well. Yeah, Austin says that Ethernet is also gigabit, but I like the one I selected better. Yep. Yeah, and Austin says the title at the top of the document shows an asterisk when the document is changed and needs to be saved. Yep. Now, I think that's a pretty universal thing. So, IoT access point, is this where the design was? No, that is not it. I think it might have ended up being under Superhouse projects. Sorry, I am just in the process of scrolling around inside Fusion right now, trying to find where I had the IoT AP. In fact, maybe it was even still in Eagle. It might be that old. Let's see. Eagle. Johnny, you've made it along. Oh, great. Now Eagle wants me to sign in. Come on. Got to go through the whole authentication thing, which is then going to need two-factor authentication, etc. And I need a terminal here to be able to extract my password for Eagle.
Austin's _creations said the old Eagle design is in my repo, along with it being converted to KiCad format.
Oh, okay. Cool. But just to open Eagle, I've got to go through this process.
System
Notification.
15 minutes remaining.
And enter two-factor code. And projects. Okay, projects, IoT AP. Yeah, okay, so Austin, it was, why is that up? I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting temporarily baffled because I was finding two copies of this project. Okay, so in the schematic, did I have a to-do? Auto switch PoE destination and change passive PoE to VA pair instead of VB. So the notes that I had to do are basically, excuse me, basically the things that Austin has already fixed for me. So that makes it easy. Oh, mode button. Okay. I don't even know if we need a mode button, but I don't remember seeing one in here. Mode button, doesn't look like there is one. There's the DC jack, but no mode button. Okay. Now, something that would be cool. How do I get to the 3D view from here? Actually, I think I should probably be in here. And then how do I get to a 3D view? Is there a way to do that? No button at the moment. Say it. Come on, say it. No button at the moment. Denied? Why was Austin denied? Or in the view menu. Okay, Alt 3 or in the view menu. View. Alt 3? I'm going to try Alt 3. I didn't have...
Austin's _creations said no button at the moment.
Yeah. So I don't think I have ever used the Alt key in like the history of me using a computer. Okay, there we go. There is our 3D version. So there's no model on the CM4, it's just a footprint, but there's a model there for the other stuff. So there's the relay. I wonder if the, hang on, I'm just going to see if my space mouse is going to work. Sadly no, looks like the space mouse doesn't work. That'd be cool if it did. Alright, so we've got all the passives and things there, the LEDs, the diodes, and there's the comparator and the regulator, I think it is. Cool. Anyway. I'm just playing. Got to be a mod or a sponsor to say. Let's see. Override. I cannot override your own message. Ask another mod.
Johnny Bergdahl said but.
How do you just type override? I don't know. Zoom in on a board edge too far and see the inside. Okay. Let's have a look on the inside of a PCB. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh yeah, here we go. We are flying through the PCB. Look, you can see the holes through the board. There's the edge of a... Ooh, I've just got to get the zoom to the right point. There we go. Look, there are the plated through holes. That looks like it's for the Ethernet connector. It's the most likely thing.
Austin's _creations said I can get you models for the Ethernet plus CM4 plus 2.1mm jack.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Austin. Now the 2.1mm jack in particular will be very useful. What I need to do is, if I'm going to be starting to use KiCad as my main thing, I'm sure I'll continue using Fusion for some things for a while at least. For a lot of projects that are like well developed in it and I'm kind of committed to it, there will be an overlap. But if I'm going to start using KiCad for projects for real, there are a whole bunch of... I've got so much commitment of libraries in Fusion. This is the thing that kind of freaks me out. I've got years and years of validated footprints and 3D models and things for all of the parts that I use. And bringing all of that over into KiCad feels kind of daunting. And there are things that I just used all the time. You know, obviously things like 2.1mm DC jacks. That's one of the first things that I will need to sort out. But I need to learn about the KiCad library management process. How does it handle its libraries, and where are they stored? How do you edit them? How do you share them? How do you categorize them? So in Fusion, as an example, what I do is, I'm just going to find something that I can bring up on the screen here. Where's an example? In Superhouse projects, let's have a look in Rack. Yeah, I'll just bring up the Rack 32. That'll do. Rack 32, bring this up. Come on, maximize, get rid of that. Okay, so say I wanted to add a part into this schematic, and I go to add, and it's opening. So this is the library manager. So these are all the libraries that I've got access to at the moment. And you can see...
Johnny Bergdahl said, and when you learn all that, please publish a YouTube video telling me the exact steps to convert everything to KICAD.
Yep. So you can see what I've done is I've got Superhouse, all these libraries from here to here are all Superhouse libraries, and you can see there are multiples of some of them because I've got a managed library and a local copy of it, etc. So same for connectors. So I've got audio, batteries, capacitors, connectors, diodes, discrete semi-displays, etc. So I've got parts collected into these libraries, each one of which contains a group of parts, and then a lot of the things that I do are organized around that categorization. So on the bench behind me, in fact if I go to this view, you can just see up there, you see those white boxes that are slightly out of focus. Each one of those boxes has a sticker on the front of it, and it is parts in typically cut tape in anti-static bags, and each one of those boxes is labeled the same as one of these libraries. So for example, there is a capacitors box, there's an audio box, there's a connectors box, there's a diodes box, etc. And all the grouping is done that way. And then inside this, if I go into connectors, it's got all of these different things, like a let's just pick something fairly basic, like a 2-pin connector, an M02, and then it's got all of these within it. So 3.5mm screw terminal, 3.81mm horizontal, 3.81 vertical, 5mm horizontal, all with 3D models. And there's a lot of stuff in here. So what I need to do is convert this somehow, like the years of work that has gone into compiling and validating all of these footprints, like LEDs, you know, that I've got WS2813 in 35/35 and 50/50 size with 3D models. And I know that these work because I've put them on boards. 5 minutes remaining.
System notification. 5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, I've put them on boards. And so I know that these footprints are good. I know that the stencil apertures are good to get the correct amount of solder paste on for the pads. Anyway, this thing here on the screen, this is largely the anchor that is holding me on Feagle compared to making a jump to KiCad. So I've got to get past that hurdle to the point. And the thing is that almost everything that I want in any project is in here. There's often something that you don't have, like there'll be an IC that I don't have a footprint for in here. But then I make a footprint for that particular IC. But if I'm working on a project like this, and I want to add something to it, then it's just click here, select the library, select the part, bang, it goes down, and I know I've got validated footprint, I know the symbol is correct with the pinouts are correct, I know there's a 3D model for it, it's all right there. And I need to get to that same level of efficiency with KiCad, with the same resources and libraries and things. Yeah. Austin says this tool can convert libraries. snapeda.com/part/add. Ooh, library conversion, hey? Library conversion. So upload Eagle format and yes. Yeah, what I don't know, and I'm obviously about to have to learn, is how KiCad does its library management. I've looked at it in the past, but I'm talking years ago, like around KiCad 4, I think. Yeah, it would have been around KiCad 4 when Angus was doing some projects. So there were a few Freetronics boards that were released that were designed with KiCad. In fact, the N drive, I think the original N drive shield was done in KiCad. The Pi 11 was done in KiCad. And at the time, Angus created a Freetronics KiCad library. And so I used that a little bit, but who knows? The library management system is probably totally different now. KiCad 4 was years and years ago. And I need to get my head around it and do this conversion. But if this will let me take a Fusion library, in fact, let's see if I go to, I'm just going to open Fusion again and go into the library manager, see if I can export it in Eagle format, because a lot of this stuff now is not, yeah, I'm now exclusively using managed libraries through both Fusion and Eagle. So it's sharing the same library in both pieces of software, and it updates. So if I edit parts in Fusion, then Eagle gets the updated libraries as well. All right, so let's go to, I'm just going to pull this off for now. Where is it? Oh, okay, no, there was nothing secret there. So let's just go into Rack32 and I'll open this project again. And let's do the test of this library conversion thingamajigamy. I don't know where it's going to go or what it's going to do. But if we go into the library and then open Library Manager, and I'm going to pick one. So these are all the libraries that I've got available in Fusion. You can see it goes on and on and on and on. It's lots of stuff there. But the
System
ones...
notification.
Stream is over. Connectors. This one, so revision 396. What options do I have? Edit. Do I have an export option? What happens if I open it? Can I, if I open this library, can I, oh, yeah, you've got to click that too. Double clicking does not open it. You've got to select it and then click the edit icon. Create open library manager. No. Can I export this as an Eagle library? I don't know. I'm going to have to oh, export. Let's see. FLBR. No, I want to export it as Eagle library files. LBR. All right. And I'm going to put it into not there. That's where I was working on some client stuff. Let's go into... I'm looking for... Okay, put it in the dock. Unsynced. This'll do. Will it go here? Yeah, stuff it. That's where it can go. Just into the unsynced directory. And save. Superhouse connectors. Export. Alright, it's ready. So now I'm just going to quit out of Fusion because I'm going to be wrapping this up in a second. I think this is pretty much the last thing I'm going to do is trying this conversion. Come on, Fusion, quit. Alright, upload and convert. Oh, I've got to sign in. Apparently it had remembered a username and password, which means I've been here before. No, let's skip that. Upload, choose file. I am going to, no, not that. I want to go to there, and where's unsynced? No, I'm looking. In my head, I'm thinking about how files are structured on my laptop, and it's different. I'm looking for. Yeah, you can see lots of stuff there. Oh, it's got the RockPi images. What? Why can't I see it there? This is where I exported it. Oh, there it is. Superhouse. It was because it was S instead of connectors. I was looking for connectors. Okay, selected, upload, and let's see what SnapEDA does with this. Upload progress. It's been uploaded, extracting symbols for RJ10. This might take a little while because there are many, many parts in this library. I probably should have picked a small one.
Jack's Tech says careful not to upload customer projects.
Yep, this is just the library that I'm uploading. Thanks, Jack's Tech. Your uploaded models. Page 1 of 3. Next. Yeah, there should be many, many more than this. Oh, page 1 of 4. Okay, the page count is increasing. No, go get those notifications out of the way. Next. Yeah, the page count is increasing. Page 4 of 5 because it's obviously still processing. Next. Page 5 of 7. Yeah, the count is getting away. Alright, so what does this actually do? Has this converted every one of these parts into a separate thing? Or is it a single unified library that now contains all of these parts? Page 6 of 11. The number is going up rapidly.
Johnny Bergdahl said you need to download them one by one.
Oh, seriously? That's horrible. Okay, so each one of these becomes like a separate library. Every part is a separate library. Next. Page 7 of 16.
System notification. Peter is hungry. 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry too. I need to eat. Page 8 of 16. Page 9 of 16. Okay, I think it's ended at 16 pages. So I've got 16 pages of things. Let's just have a look at one.
Austin's underscore creation said just becomes a part. You can regroup them in KiCad.
Okay.
Johnny Bergdahl said click convert. The list is impressive.
Okay. The list is... It said something strange then. I didn't understand it. Click convert. The list is impressive. Click convert. Alright. Where is convert? I don't know. Alright. I'm just going to pick something. This one. M06, 2mm. If I click on it, what happens? I don't know what just happened. I just ended up back on the same page that I was on. Should I be going to more detail for that? I don't know. Anyway. Oh, download convert button, says Mitchell. All right. Let's go download/convert. Got it downloaded anyway. Didn't get a chance to verify. Got it downloaded anyway. Okay, so this is all of the formats that it can be downloaded in. Nice. All right, so KiCad v6 and later is the one that I want.
Johnny Bergdahl said click the button. Download, convert.
Yep. Now, I'm going to find... Now, how do I find in this? Search parts. Is this just searching mine or is this searching everybody's? I'm just going to search for 2.1 and I'll see what happens. All parts and PCB suppliers. Okay, so this is searching everybody's, not just mine. Yeah, Lumi parts, etc. Now, how do I get back to my parts? Manage my parts. That's what I want to do. I want to manage them. So I can't search within these, it would seem. And they're not in alphabetical order. So I'm just going to have to click through each of the pages to find... no, how do I get this stupid pop-up to go away? Clear all. That's better. What I'm looking for is the 2.1mm jack. But I just wanted to see what the process was and whether it has the... Oh, it removed them from the import, says Jack's Tech. Removed from the import? I don't get it. Anyway, I'm going to have to play around with this, and also...
It said when you click the parts, it removed them from the import.
Yep. So if, for example, let me see. I'm going to go back to previous. I'm going to go onto page 1, and the first one on here is TP07SQ, followed by TP19R. If I click TP that, hang on, no, it's still there. I thought it would have deleted it. So there's a delete icon, but clicking the name just loops you back to the same page. Doesn't do anything. So, okay. I could be here for ages messing around with this and trying to figure out what's going on. So oh, Scott says, plan on sitting back with a podcast or 12 playing while you migrate all of them. Yeah. I'm going to... I'm going to have to read up a little bit on how KiCad handles its libraries. Like, I don't know where they're stored or anything. Presumably they're on disk locally somewhere, but I don't know where. And what the best practice is for how you use it. For example, do you store the library with the project or do you keep them centralized? I've got no idea. I'm just going to have to look at tutorials and take my take my time to understand it all and what the best practices are, how to do this in the best way. Yes, so that but in any case, a huge thank you to Austin for doing this and giving me the head start on laying all of this out. And just on first impressions, it looks like I'm going to probably have trouble making all of this fit on here. What would be nice would be some smaller optocouplers, because optocouplers are always really uncomfortably large. They've got big footprints. Maybe some dual optos. I've just recently bought some optos that are intended for bidirectional communication, so it's a single package with two optos in it.
_creations said save the PCB view as well.
Good point, Austin. Thank you. So the yeah, they're designed for bidirectional comms. So basically it's two optos in one package, and you have input and output on the same side. It's like input and then output and then output and then input, if you know what I mean. So you've got the two signals passing each other. And the footprint is smaller than having two discrete optos like this. So I could use two dual optos, or I could go for a single, probably a quad opto package, and save a bit of space on the board that way. Yeah, we've also got some capacitors that take up a fair bit of space, a big inductor here as part of the power supply, and the inevitably the PoE regulator module takes up a fair bit of space. But that is a job for another day. Ah, interesting. Okay. So save the, oh right, save the PCB view as well. I almost didn't. There we go. PCB view is saved. So I'm going to quit out of KiCad. So I now have my local fork of, not my fork, it's just my local copy of Austin's version. And so I need to I need to pull that into my repo as well and continue from there in KiCad. Yeah, so I think that's probably going to be it for today, and I need to eat. I need to refuel, re-energize, and maybe then crash out on the couch. I don't know. But whatever I do, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. And now there is no end button for me to press now, because normally the macro does a whole bunch of stuff. So
Austin's_creations said stream quality was far better.
Yeah, I haven't seen any warnings coming up in the YouTube console. So what have I got to do? All right, to end the stream, I have to change the view on my laptop. So in OBS, I have to change to a different scene. I have to change the input on the ATEM. I'm just going to try this. Yeah, change stream key. I will do that. I will change the stream key once I've ended this stream. And I'm going to try it now. I'm going to click that, and then click that, and then I'm going to mute myself, and hopefully I won't forget anything, and then I've got to end the stream. So, thank you everybody for coming along and suffering through 2 hours of me just blahing about stuff. Don't forget, next weekend is the monthly Superhouse barbecue. So if you're in Melbourne and you would like to come along to that, please do so. There will be details in Discord. If you're not on Discord and you can contact me some other way, then that'd be great. Please do it. And I will see some of you. And oh yes, so I will try to do a bit of a lab tour next week. That'll be my goal. I'll get confidential stuff out of sight and maybe do a bit of a lab tour on the live stream before the barbecue. So, see, as Chip said, see you next weekend at the Super Lunch. Okay, here we go. I've changed that. I got to do that.